Hi fam, it's the Island Girl and I'm back with another one for you today. And today I'm reacting to 10 countries that always stand with the UK no matter what. And I'm getting this one from Explore World. Please go over and show them some love. Tell them your Island Girl sent you. All right, the link will be in the description below. So 10 countries that always stand with the UK no matter what. So Canada is one of them. The US, I'm assuming, but with what's going on, I don't know if UK want the US to stand with them. Who knows? I'm not sure. So let's find out. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe. To all my regular schmeglers, day ones to the pies to the pools. Come on in, right back, put a smile on your face. And let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section. Here we go right about now.
Did you know that over 70 countries have formal diplomatic ties with the UK? But only a tiny handful would actually stand by Britain if the world fell apart tomorrow. It's easy to think that allies are everywhere. But when it really matters, loyalty is rare. Throughout history, Britain has weathered wars, economic crashes, political scandals, and not everyone stuck around. In fact, some so-called friends even turned their backs when times got tough. But a few countries, they stood firm, no hesitation, no second thoughts. In the darkest hours, these bonds became more than alliances. They became lifelines. Today, we're diving into the 10 countries that would go down swinging with the UK, no matter what. Some of these might seem obvious, but others will absolutely leave you stunned. What secret military pacts, hidden economic agreements, and generations of trust keep these friendships stronger than steel? How have shared wars, cultural ties, and even personal friendships between leaders shaped alliances that could outlast empires? And more importantly, could these hidden loyalties decide the fate of the next global conflict, the balance of power, or even the survival of democracies worldwide? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know which countries are true ride-or-die allies. And trust me, it's not just who you think. Ready to find out who would really have Britain's back when the world's on fire? Let's dive right in. Number 10. Sweden. When you think of Britain's strongest allies, Sweden might not immediately jump to mind. After all, Sweden was famously neutral during the world wars, right?
Yeah.
But times have changed, and so has Sweden's role on the global stage. Today, Sweden is not just a casual supporter, it's stepping up as a key partner, especially after officially joining NATO in 2024. That move alone sent a loud and clear message. Sweden is serious about standing with its democratic allies, and Britain is right at the heart of that alliance. Over the past few years, the UK and Sweden have deepened their military cooperation at lightning speed. They've launched joint defense initiatives, participated in Arctic military drills, and coordinated strategies to counter new age threats like cyber attacks and hybrid warfare. Both nations are fiercely committed to protecting the stability of Northern Europe, a region increasingly seen as a frontline for global security. But it's not just about fighter jets and military strategies. Britain and Sweden are joining forces in innovation too, working together on clean energy projects, artificial intelligence research, and advanced tech solutions. These collaborations aren't just academic, they're shaping the future industries that could dominate the next century. Even culturally, the ties are growing stronger. British and Swedish businesses are collaborating more than ever. Educational exchanges are increasing, and there's a shared commitment to freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. What's really fascinating is how quickly this relationship has matured. In a world where alliances often take decades to fully form, Britain and Sweden have built a powerful friendship in just a few years. And it's only getting stronger. Sweden's strategic location, cutting-edge tech, and fierce loyalty make it a silent giant among Britain's friends. And trust me, Sweden isn't just standing tall, it's standing ready. Number 9.
So, I'm like, when I saw Sweden, I'm like, Sweden? But I just forgot they just joined NATO. He's so right. I'm like, he's right. Can you imagine that? But it's, when you think about it, I remember seeing it the other day, and then I remember looking at videos about their training in the Arctic and so forth, the UK, and I'm like, oh, Okay. So that's amazing. And based on where Sweden is too, that's amazing to have them as an ally, but to stand with them no matter what. But as he said, the bond between the two has gotten so strong in years. It didn't take decades, because countries take it time to warm up with each other, but there's so much things that they're doing together that makes them stand together, if it makes sense what I just said. But Norway is on number 9, okay?
Norway. When you think about loyalty, few countries can match Norway's quiet but powerful commitment to Britain. While it often stays out of the media spotlight, Norway has been one of the UK's most reliable partners for decades, especially when it comes to military cooperation and securing Europe's northern flank. During World War II, Britain played a vital role in liberating Norway from Nazi occupation. That bond didn't end with the war, it only deepened. Today, both countries are key players in NATO, constantly working together on military exercises, intelligence sharing, and defense initiatives.
Wow.
If trouble were to break out in the Arctic or North Atlantic, you can bet Norway would be standing right next to Britain without a second thought. Norway's strategic location is incredibly important. Sitting right between the Arctic and mainland Europe, Norway helps the UK monitor one of the most sensitive and contested regions in the world. They collaborate on anti-submarine operations, Arctic defense strategies, and even cutting-edge missile defense technologies designed to protect against new-age threats. But this partnership isn't just about the military. Norway and the UK are massive trading partners, particularly in energy. Norwegian gas and oil flow directly to British homes, fueling millions of lives.
Wow.
There's also a deep cultural respect between the two nations, shared love for democracy, freedom, and standing up for smaller nations' rights globally. In a world full of shifting alliances and unpredictable players, Norway remains that rare kind of friend, quiet, steady, and absolutely unwavering. And hey, speaking of loyalty, who do you think is Britain's strongest ally of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this dive into Britain's real friends, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
Norway. You don't hear much about Norway. He's right about that. But oh my God, is Norway beautiful. So is Sweden. I forgot to say that when Sweden was up. But I was like, it is so breathtaking sitting here and looking at Norway. I'm like, oh God, take me and put me there right now. Peace and serenity, peace of mind. Beautiful. But apart from that, I didn't even realize that the bond between Norway and the UK was so strong. And I love the fact that he said, listen, it's not just all military ties, but then I forgot that trading, yes, it is right there. And their energy, and where they're sitting is a pivotal point for the UK. So they're protecting, and then he said that, okay, they're also working on submarine stuff together. And yes, they did in World War. See, but you don't really hear about Norway. Interesting.
Number 8, Netherlands. Now here's a country that doesn't make a lot of noise,
True.
but moves mountains when it matters. The Netherlands and the UK, they've got a connection that's like an old, trusted partnership, built over centuries of doing business, fighting battles, and navigating world chaos together. They're both trading giants, seafaring nations, and global finance hubs. And while they might joke about their love of football rivalries, when it comes to real-world issues, Britain and the Netherlands are almost always on the same side.
Wow.
Behind closed doors, they collaborate on some of the biggest economic and security projects in Europe. Cyber defense, check. Joint intelligence operations, check. Coordinated sanctions against hostile powers, double check. And when it comes to logistics, Dutch ports like Rotterdam are basically lifelines for British imports and exports. No exaggeration, energy ties are massive too. With the North Sea sitting between them, these two countries have built an energy network that looks more like a web than a straight line. Pipelines, gas fields, and now a booming race toward offshore wind farms. Some of the most ambitious green energy projects in Europe are joint UK-Netherlands ventures. But it goes even deeper than politics, economics, or technology. The Dutch trust the British, and the British trust the Dutch. And that's rare in international politics, where alliances are often based on cold convenience rather than real mutual respect. When Brexit rattled Europe's political foundations, many leaders whispered about cutting ties. Not the Netherlands. Instead of stepping away, they quietly pushed for new trade routes, stronger bilateral treaties, and even tighter security pacts. In a world full of fair-weather friends, the Netherlands stands out. Calm, smart, ready to act, not shout. When Britain calls, they don't hesitate. They move. That's the kind of loyalty you can't buy, and it's the kind that Britain knows it can count on. Number 7.
That's amazing. That is amazing. You don't hear much about Netherlands too when it comes on to their military or anything like that. You really don't. But the word that he used that catch my attention, he said, trust. Britain trust the Netherlands. So you can see that it's not just a tie between the two, the friendship. It's a deep-seated friendship. The reliance on one another is just amazing. You don't normally hear that about countries. Normally, it has to do with some form of not political, like trade or, you understand it? Okay, so there has to be a benefit from one to the next that, okay, they can help me with this, or they can do this for me, and I can do this. So that's how this friendship tend to be formed. But in this case, that's not the case. And I like that when he said trust, because trust is a hefty word to throw around. And I like that. And when it comes on to energy and everything like that, see, and then the northern border, there you go again. It's just amazing to sit here and learn all this, because I didn't know that. And I love the scenery and these that he's showing. I'm like, oh, so it seems like it's mainly the European region. It seems like so far. I'm assuming that Australia, Canada, and the US is on the list. But who knows about the US hanging down in the bottom down there? I'm not too sure. But yeah, number 7.
Poland.
Oh!
If loyalty had a face, Poland would be right up there, standing shoulder to shoulder with Britain through some of the darkest moments in history. Their friendship isn't just political, it's built from blood, courage, and sacrifice.
Oh!
During World War II, when Poland was invaded and torn apart, it was Britain that stood up and declared war in their defense. Polish pilots fought alongside the Royal Air Force during the Battle of Britain, becoming some of the fiercest and most skilled fighters in the skies. Without their bravery, Britain's fate could have looked very different, and the war itself could have taken a darker turn. But the connection runs even deeper. After the war, when Poland found itself trapped behind the Iron Curtain, the UK remained one of the loudest voices calling for Polish independence and sovereignty. That loyalty wasn't forgotten. Fast forward to today, and that deep-rooted connection hasn't faded one bit. Poland and the UK are strong pillars in NATO, often leading the charge when it comes to standing firm against rising threats in Eastern Europe.
Wow.
Whether it's sending troops, sharing critical intelligence, or building up defensive strategies, Poland has proven time and again that it's not just a friend when it's easy. It's a partner when it's hard. Beyond politics, there's a massive human connection too. Hundreds of thousands of Polish citizens live, work, and thrive in the UK, contributing to industries, culture, and community life. Walk through any British city, and you'll see Polish businesses, hear Polish voices, and feel the richness of a shared life. Despite political shifts, economic changes, and challenges over the years, the bond between Britain and Poland has stayed strong, built on respect, shared sacrifice, and an unbreakable commitment to freedom. Number 6.
You see, you can't go wrong with that. Loyalty, friendship, blood, sweat, and tears. Those are the perfect word to use with Poland and the UK. The bond between them is so strong. It's like a brotherly bond. You don't have to come from the same mother. That's the impression I'm getting. Because I'm like, when he said, oh, remember some of them flew, and I'm like, in World War, I'm like, yes, I remember that video that when I was doing Stand With Britain, and I'm like, oh my word, he is right. So the connection between the two is supersedes just, oh, we're just friends, we're just allies because, okay, we can do a little trading, we can swap certain information, and that's it. No, it's deep, it's rooted. I like that. Blood, sweat, and tears together. That's when it comes on to the UK and Poland. They're like brothers and sisters, so close. The reliance on each other is just amazing. And he said something else too, that the culture, the people, there's so much that's going on between the two, because a lot of Polish people work in the UK. So you see that it is the, and then I know a lot of people from the UK do travel there, you know, so it balances out. So you see, loyalty is important to them. So they'll have their back no matter what. Wow. This one that's coming up on the list is a shocker for me. Japan and the UK. Before I get into my head, let me hear this one.
Japan. Some alliances are loud and flashy, and then there are the ones that quietly shift the balance of global power, and Japan's relationship with the UK is exactly that. At first glance, you might not think of Japan as Britain's ride-or-die ally.
Exactly.
They're separated by half the planet, after all. But behind the scenes, the UK and Japan have been building one of the most sophisticated and strategic partnerships in modern history.
Interesting.
Both countries are island nations.
Yes.
Both have deep naval traditions. Both are democracies surrounded by powerful rivals. And both know that in a world where security can shift overnight, reliable friends aren't just nice, they're essential.
True.
In the last decade, Britain and Japan have signed landmark defense agreements, shared military technology, and even conducted joint military exercises across continents. They're collaborating on next-generation fighter jets, cyber defense operations, and advanced intelligence programs. They even signed the Reciprocal Access Agreement, making it easier than ever for military forces to train and operate together on each other's soil. In short, they're preparing for a future where sticking together could mean survival. But the relationship goes deeper than just defense. Britain and Japan are economic powerhouses, forging new trade deals, boosting investment, and coordinating strategies in tech, green energy, and AI innovation.
Wow.
London's financial might and Tokyo's technological leadership are now blending into a quiet but unstoppable force, reshaping industries across the globe. Culturally, there's a deep mutual admiration. The British respect Japan's discipline, precision, and innovation. The Japanese admire Britain's resilience, strategic thinking, and global influence. It's a bond built not on loud declarations, but on understanding. An alliance that moves with patience and precision.
Nice.
In the global chessboard of alliances, Japan isn't just a piece on the board. It's Britain's strategic queen. Quiet, powerful, and always thinking several moves ahead. Number 5.
I did not expect to see Japan on this list. That one is a shocker to me. I'm like, Japan? Why? They're so far from each other. But not only that, I didn't even realize they get along like that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, Japan? That one just threw me for a loop, guys. I'm just being honest with you. That one literally threw me for a loop. But then he said, it's like the secret soft friendship between two countries, from innovations to cyber intelligence. So the way that they look at each other is like, it said Japan is like the queen, the silent killer, you would call it. You know, the strategies and stuff that they have, and the treaties that they sign between each other to having military forces trained on their borders, plus in the UK region, so they can move across. That is just amazing. I had no clue. Okay, let's see this list. Number 5.
France. You can't talk about Britain's closest allies without mentioning France.
Yes.
No matter how many jokes they crack at each other's expense. Let's be honest, the UK and France have one of the most famous love-hate relationships in history. Centuries of wars, rivalries, and endless debates over who makes better cheese. Yet when it really matters, these two always find their way back to each other. World War I, World War II, the fight against terrorism, You name it, Britain and France have stood shoulder to shoulder when the stakes were highest. Even when political tensions flare over fishing rights or trade deals, there's an unspoken rule. In times of real crisis, they'll back each other without hesitation. Today, their partnership is stronger and smarter than ever. Both are nuclear powers. Both are permanent members of the UN Security Council. Both have some of the most powerful militaries in the world. And when it comes to defending democracy, Europe's security, and shared global interests, Britain and France operate like an old, battle-tested team that knows each other's moves without needing words.
Interesting.
They run joint military programs, share highly sensitive intelligence, and coordinate operations in Europe, Africa, and even the Indo-Pacific. The Lancaster House treaties, signed in 2010, locked them into a tight web of defense cooperation, making sure that even if politics get messy, the trust between their armies stays unshakable.
I like that.
It's not just about tanks and treaties either. Culturally, they're tangled up in each other's lives in a way few countries are. British travellers flock to Paris every year, enchanted by the art, fashion, and food. Meanwhile, French students, artists, and entrepreneurs flood into London, chasing opportunities and fueling innovation. The truth is, rivalry breeds respect. And when the chips are down, there's no hesitation. France shows up. They might tease, they might compete, but at the end of the day, they fight for the same values, and they'll fight for each other. Always have. Always will.
Always.
Number 4.
I love that. I love that. This is just amazing to see, just to think about that. They say, people from the UK travel to France to look at their art, to do this. And I'm like, but all this is in the UK. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's so amazing to hear, because the UK is rich and filled, its history, its architecture. It's just amazing. So can you imagine how France is? These countries are so beautiful that he's talking about. And yes, they kind of have a love and hate relationship, but yet to find out that no matter what, France will stand with the UK. Isn't that something? The treaties that they sign with each other, the fact that they can, and a lot of people, tourism is like a tourism hub for each other too, both traveling across to enjoy. That's just something. But I knew of France, but I didn't see the relationship, how deep-rooted the relationship was between the two. Interesting.
New Zealand. Some friendships just feel effortless. That's exactly how it is between Britain and New Zealand. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's just there. Steady, genuine, and always ready when it matters.
Steady, genuine.
The roots run deep. New Zealand was once called the most loyal of Britain's children. And that loyalty wasn't just in words. When Britain went to war in 1914 and again in 1939, New Zealand didn't hesitate. Thousands of young Kiwis sailed halfway across the world to stand beside British soldiers. Many never returned home. Their sacrifice became a symbol of how far New Zealand would go to stand with Britain when it mattered most. But it wasn't just the wars that bonded them. It's the shared values, democracy, fair play, a fierce love for freedom, and a strong sense of community. Even though New Zealand has grown its own bold, independent identity, the heart of that connection with Britain never really changed. It simply evolved into something even deeper. Today, New Zealand remains one of Britain's most trusted allies. They work together within the Five Eyes intelligence network, one of the tightest and most secretive security alliances on the planet. They back each other up in international forums on climate change goals, human rights issues, and global economic challenges. Their militaries still train together, learning from each other's strengths, keeping that bond sharp and ready. And beyond politics and strategy, it's the people-to-people ties that make the friendship unbreakable. Kiwis feel at home in the UK, and Brits find a second home in New Zealand. Shared culture, shared humour, shared history, it all runs quietly, confidently in the background. In a complicated world full of shifting alliances and political games, Britain and New Zealand's friendship feels refreshingly simple. No games, no doubts, just loyalty, respect, and an unspoken promise to stand together, yesterday, today, and always. Number 3.
Man. Wow. Yesterday, today, and in the future of an unspoken loyalty to stand together. They're silent but deadly. Put it that way. It's amazing the way that he described the alliance between these countries and the friendship and the bond that they have. The Kiwis. I've never heard that term before. The Kiwis have another place at home. It's like it's a home away from home between the Netherlands and the UK. Isn't that something? Their militaries train together. They stand genuinely, and it wasn't forced. It's just natural friendship and alliance between two countries. You don't get no better than that, and we're only at number 4. So let's find out number 3, Australia. As I had said earlier, Australia is definitely on the list because he said the Five Eyes, and I just did a video and knew about that. So, man, this is just awesome to watch.
Australia.
Yep.
If Britain ever needed a wingman, Australia would be first through the door, ready to roll. This isn't just a polite alliance. It's a bond forged in blood, grit, and a fierce sense of loyalty.
Yep.
The connection goes back over a century. When Britain entered World War I, Australia didn't blink. Thousands of young Aussies volunteered to fight under the British flag, and the Anzac legend was born on the bloody beaches of Gallipoli.
Yes.
World War II, Korea, Vietnam. The story repeated itself. If Britain was there, chances were good Australia wasn't far behind.
Wow.
But it's not just about old battlefields. Today, Britain and Australia work together on almost everything that matters.
Oh.
Defense, trade, intelligence, climate policy, you name it. They're key players in the Five Eyes intelligence network.
Yes.
One of the most exclusive and trusted security alliances in the world. They sign joint defense pacts, coordinate massive naval operations in the Indo-Pacific, and collaborate on cutting-edge military technologies that could shape the next generation of warfare. And when it comes to loyalty, there's no second guessing between them. When Britain sends the call, Australia doesn't ask why. They ask where and when.
Wow.
That kind of trust isn't built overnight.
Nope.
It's built by showing up, again and again, through peace, through war, through everything in between. Beyond the politics and the strategies, it's the people-to-people bond that makes this friendship unshakable. Tens of thousands of Brits live, work, and thrive in Australia. And Aussie backpackers flood UK cities every year, bringing a bit of that cheeky, adventurous spirit with them.
I like
It's
that.
mateship at its finest. Rough around the edges sometimes, but solid to the core. In a world full of complicated, fragile alliances, Britain and Australia's bond stands out. Loud, proud, and unbreakable. It's not about convenience. It's about heart, history, and the certainty that when things get tough, they'll face it together, shoulder to shoulder. Number 2.
I love that. It's not about convenience. Like I said, you'll find some countries, they are allies because of convenience, what they can do for each other. But when he said it about Australia, it's like, look, it's just amazing. No matter where the call is, they don't just show up. They don't even ask where. They don't even ask why. They just ask where. Where do we need to be? The loyalty and the love between the two nations is not forced. It's genuine. It's real, no matter what. And it's not about the history. And that's how, the other day I did a video about the Anzac Day. I understand where he's coming from when he say all these things. It's just amazing to sit and listen about countries that really get along with each other, not because one can do for the other when it come on to trading and money. You understand what I mean? It's like the loyalty is there, genuinely there. Number 2, I am assuming that America is in number 1, the US. But I don't know. I think that it needs to be switched around because number 2 is Canada. And I'm thinking, with all that is going on right now, I know we're allies. I know, well, there's a lot that goes on, but right now it's unstable. But it's just amazing to see the list, and I'm like, wow. just to hear the sheer, how every country intertwined with the UK, the reasons behind it, and he always say this: the people, the love between people, and that is important for a country. Number 2,
Canada. If the United Kingdom has a big brother or little sibling in the world, it's definitely Canada. This isn't just an alliance, it's family. Different in some ways, independent in others, but bonded by deep history, shared values, and the kind of loyalty that doesn't crack under pressure. From the very beginning, Britain and Canada were tied together by more than just treaties. They built cities, governments, and dreams side by side.
Wow.
Canada helped Britain shape its empire, and when the world plunged into chaos during both world wars, Canada didn't wait for an invitation. Canadian troops crossed oceans to fight alongside British forces, not because they had to, but because they chose to. The fields of Vimy Ridge and the beaches of Normandy are forever etched with the bravery they shared. That spirit of brotherhood still shines today. Canada and Britain are partners in nearly every major international alliance.
Yes.
NATO, the G7, the Commonwealth, and of course, the Five Eyes Intelligence Network. They trust each other with their most sensitive secrets. They back each other on the world stage, whether it's fighting for human rights, tackling climate change, or standing up to aggression. But beyond politics and treaties, it's the cultural bond that feels so real and personal. From literature to sports to music, Canadians and Brits just get each other. There's a familiar humor, a shared sense of fairness, and an unspoken understanding that even when they disagree, the respect never fades.
Nice.
Walk through any Canadian city and you'll see traces of British heritage everywhere. From the architecture of old city halls to the symbols on the flags. It's not about control, it's about connection, pride, and shared memory. In a world where alliances can be bought and sold, Canada's loyalty to Britain feels genuine, enduring, and unshakable. Like family, you might argue, you might drift, but when the call comes, you answer. Always.
They're family. You may have a drift. I like the way he said that. But when the call comes, because no matter how you and a family member don't get along, when you're in trouble, majority of the time, those genuine family members, they show up, they turn up. Even if they dislike you, they turn up. They turn up. They're there. And I like that. You may have a little rift in the family, but the loyalty still remains. It's like a little rift between a brother and sister, but it doesn't matter. Because they'll turn up, they'll show up. Because at the end of the day, that's my brother. Where, when, we'll take care of it. Love the bond between the two countries. And when he said that, listen, they share secrets together, sensitive stuff together. And I'm like, I don't know much about Canada. Like I haven't really looked into Canada, but I know I've seen a lot of expats, videos that I've seen with a lot of Canadians living in the UK and vice versa. So, yeah. But Canada is beautiful. I'm going to start looking in Canada too. Number one is, of course, the US is going to be in the number one spot. Because I know the bond between the two is amazing. I know we're allies. And I know that you guys trade secrets and all these stuff and a part of the Five Eyes. I was like, number one spot. I was assuming it was between Australia, Canada, and the US. But I didn't expect the US to be in number one spot. But I get it. You understand? Because they've fought a lot together. They've done a lot together. Yeah, I can see it, but I know it's kind of a lot is going on right now where you can say, and this video is done recently. I'll be like, but it's on shaky ground. But I don't think that will affect because Canada and the US, not right now. But this is about the UK at the end of the day. So There's a friendship, a form of loyalty, like an old body kind of loyalty that lies between the two. So here goes.
Number 1, United States. When it comes to alliances, there's one relationship that stands above the rest. The special relationship between Britain and the United States.
Yep.
And like all real friendships, it hasn't always been perfect.
True.
They've fought wars against each other, disagreed fiercely on politics and policies, and even competed for influence across the globe.
That's true.
But despite all the bumps, Britain and America have built something incredibly rare. A bond so strong, so deep, that it often feels more like family than diplomacy.
Nice.
They stood side by side through 2 world wars, fought together in Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, and countless other missions across continents. When Britain calls, America answers. And when America needs a partner, Britain shows up, ready, trusted, and unshakable.
Nice.
Their militaries don't just work together, they move like a single unit when it matters most.
Nice.
They share secrets, tech, strategy, the kind of deep trust most countries can only dream of. The legendary Thise intelligence network, it owes its backbone to Britain and America's unbreakable bond. Their economic ties are enormous too. Trillions of dollars flow back and forth, building companies, technology, culture, and dreams on both sides of the Atlantic. But maybe the most powerful connection isn't military or money, it's cultural. From Beatles to Hollywood, from Shakespeare to Silicon Valley, Britain and America constantly inspire, challenge, and lift each other higher. There's a shared belief in freedom, fairness, and fighting for what's right, even when it's messy and imperfect.
Yes.
Sure, they argue. Sure, they clash.
True.
But that's what real families do. Because underneath it all, Britain and America don't just like each other. They trust each other with everything that matters. In a world full of alliances built on convenience, theirs is built on belief. Stone solid, battle-tested, future-proof. And no matter what storms come, they'll face them together.
Nice.
Now it's your turn. Drop a comment and tell us, which country surprised you the most? And if you enjoyed this journey, check out our last video. We know you'll love it too.
See?
We pour heart and soul into every video, and your support means...
Love this video. Which one surprised me the most? Definitely Japan. I gotta be honest. It's like, I didn't expect to see it on the list. That one got me. It really did. I'm like, Japan? But that's the one that catch me on the list. But when it comes on to the US, the two have a great bond, like he said. Yes, they quarrel. Yes, they fight. Yes, they also push each other, which is good. You understand? Like family, you can't get rid of me. It doesn't matter what. Yeah, we argue. Yes, we don't get along for some time. But at the end of the day, we'll stand together. When you need me, I'll be there. When you need me, I'll be there. When I need you, you'll be there. You understand me? I like this video so much. But when he said, freedom, I'm like, that part that don't coincide. Because what the US called freedom and what the UK considers freedom is two total different things when it comes to its people. You know, but apart from that, I can see why, US is in the number one spot based on everything that he said. So let me know if you agree with this list, and let me know if you would have put US in the number one spot. But to me, you have to look at the overall picture, what the two have done together, been doing, what they create, what they form. You have to look at that before you can say, nah, US cannot be in the number one spot. But if you just look on the bare surface, you can say, no, they don't deserve it. They don't need to be there. But you have to do your overall view before you can make that decision. That's how I see it. Like you said, we'll bicker and fight, but at the end of the day, they still rely on each other. Trusted. Their trust between the two is genuine. That's what we need to remember too. It's your island girl, and I'm running out of here. Interesting video, I might add. Love you guys. Be good, be kind, be safe out there. Love each other. Don't forget to hit the like button on this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be there to definitely hear you guys out and talk to you guys in the comment section. Don't forget to go over and show this video some love on the original channel, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do it. So you gotta give due to the original content creator. With that said, I'm running out of here. Love you guys, and I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Bye.